Chapter 10: Intermittent Fasting, the Modern Fad. In recent years, intermittent fasting, IF, has surged in popularity, particularly in health and wellness circles. Though fasting is an ancient practice with deep religious and cultural roots, its modern resurgence comes largely from scientific interest in its potential health benefits, coupled with the growing trend toward wellness and longevity. As a fad, intermittent fasting has captured the attention of fitness enthusiasts, celebrities, biohackers, and health experts alike, each promoting it as a simple, effective way to lose weight, boost energy, and improve health outcomes. This chapter delves into the rise of intermittent fasting as a modern-day phenomenon, exploring the various fasting methods, the reasons for its popularity, and the scientific evidence, or lack thereof, behind its claims. At its core, intermittent fasting involves cycling between periods of eating and fasting. Unlike traditional diets, which focus on what you eat, intermittent fasting is more concerned with when you eat. The most popular methods of intermittent fasting include the 16-to-8 method, where one fasts for 16 hours and eats during an 8-hour window, and the 5-to-2 diet, which involves eating normally for 5 days a week and significantly restricting calories, usually to around 500 to 600 calories on the other 2 days. Other approaches include alternate day fasting, where one alternates between a day of normal eating and a day of complete or near complete fasting, and the 24-hour fast, where participants abstain from food for a full 24 hours once or twice a week. So why has intermittent fasting become so popular? For many, it represents a more sustainable approach to weight loss and health than traditional dieting. Unlike conventional calorie-restrictive diets that require constant monitoring of food intake and often lead to burnout, intermittent fasting offers a simpler, more flexible framework. By restricting eating to certain windows of time, individuals naturally consume fewer calories without feeling like they are constantly dieting. This method appeals to those who want to lose weight without counting calories, restricting food groups, or meticulously planning meals. Additionally, many followers of intermittent fasting report feeling more energized and mentally sharp during their fasting periods, contributing to its appeal. One of the key reasons for intermittent fasting's rise as a modern trend is its scientific backing. Numerous studies have highlighted the potential health benefits of intermittent fasting, particularly in relation to weight loss, metabolic health, and longevity. Research shows that intermittent fasting can help reduce body fat, especially visceral fat, the fat stored around organs, which is associated with a higher risk of chronic diseases, without significant loss of muscle mass. Because fasting forces the body to rely on stored fat for energy, it can lead to efficient fat burning, which is why intermittent fasting is often embraced by fitness enthusiasts and athletes. Beyond weight loss, intermittent fasting has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and blood sugar regulation, making it a potentially powerful tool for those at risk of type 2 diabetes. Insulin sensitivity refers to how effectively the body cells respond to insulin, a hormone that regulates blood sugar levels. By improving the sensitivity, intermittent fasting can help prevent spikes in blood sugar and reduce the risk of developing insulin resistance, a precursor to diabetes. Several studies have found that intermittent fasting lowers fasting insulin levels, leading to better blood sugar control. This is why many proponents of intermittent fasting suggest it as a beneficial practice for those managing prediabetes or seeking to optimize metabolic health. The potential anti-aging effects of intermittent fasting are another major reason behind its popularity. As mentioned in earlier chapters, intermittent fasting triggers a process known as autophagy, the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells and regenerating new ones. This process is critical for cellular maintenance and repair, and is believed to slow down the aging process by removing cellular waste and promoting the growth of healthy cells. Animal studies have shown that intermittent fasting can extend lifespan and delay the onset of age-related diseases such as Alzheimer's, though more research is needed to determine the full extent of these benefits in humans. Regardless, the possibility of using intermittent fasting as a tool for longevity has garnered widespread interest, particularly among those focused on wellness, biohacking, and life extension. However, despite the growing enthusiasm around intermittent fasting, it is important to approach the practice with a critical eye. One of the major critiques of intermittent fasting is that its long-term effects are still largely unknown. While short-term studies show promising results, there is limited data on the long-term sustainability and health outcomes of intermittent fasting, particularly regarding its impact on heart health, bone density, and hormonal balance. For instance, while some studies suggest that intermittent fasting can improve cholesterol levels and reduce inflammation, others have raised concerns about its effects on women's hormonal health. Some research indicates that intermittent fasting may disrupt reproductive hormones in women, leading to irregular menstrual cycles or fertility issues. These effects may be due to hormonal fluctuations that occur in response to fasting, particularly during longer fasting periods. In addition, not everyone experiences the same benefits from intermittent fasting, and it can be challenging for certain individuals to maintain. For those with demanding work schedules, family obligations, or active lifestyles, sticking to strict fasting windows can be difficult, leading to potential disruptions in eating patterns or social interactions. Similarly, individuals with a history of eating disorders or disordered eating behaviors may find intermittent fasting triggers unhealthy habits, as the focus on restricting food intake can exacerbate pre-existing issues. For these reasons, it is important for individuals to consider their personal health history and lifestyle before adopting intermittent fasting as a long-term practice. Another factor driving the intermittent fasting trend is its prominence in social media and popular culture. Influencers, celebrities, and wellness gurus frequently tout the benefits of intermittent fasting, often pairing it with other health and fitness trends like ketogenic diets, high-intensity interval training, HIIT, and detoxification routines. Platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok have become hubs for intermittent fasting enthusiasts to share their experiences, results, and tips, further fueling the trend's popularity. This visibility has made intermittent fasting not just a health practice, but a cultural phenomenon, with a growing community of followers embracing it as a lifestyle choice. However, like many health fads, intermittent fasting's popularity has led to misinformation and oversimplification of its benefits. Some proponents claim that intermittent fasting is a cure-all for everything from obesity to cancer, despite the lack of conclusive scientific evidence to support such sweeping claims. As with any health practice, it's important for individuals to approach intermittent fasting with caution, understanding that while it may offer certain benefits, it is not a magic bullet for health and wellness. In conclusion, intermittent fasting's status as a modern fad stems from its simplicity, flexibility, and potential health benefits, particularly in weight loss, metabolic health, and longevity. However, despite the promising research, intermittent fasting is not without its challenges and risks, and its long-term effects remain an area for further study. As with any dietary trend, individuals should approach intermittent fasting thoughtfully, considering both its advantages and potential downsides before incorporating it into their lifestyle.